Hey, welcome back to the SML podcast here live with Primetime 000. This is Field Journal 007. Welcome back the SML podcast. I'm going to turn it over to Primetime 000 for his opening statement.
Hey, welcome to the SML podcast. Sorry about our delay in producing these videos or podcasts, you could say. It's, sometimes it's tough to put stuff together.
All right. Well, I guess we can just talk about your latest game. I know you're getting ready to you're probably going to release a video with the highlights or whatever, SML Game of the Week style. Just a brief overview without going into it too much.
Yeah, I played the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tough opponent, one of his first games. Came down the wire. Andrew Luck went down. One of the teams was down in the fourth quarter, and there was a big comeback, All
right, then. I have the bye week this week. Week before that, I played the Rams, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I won 36-3. I mentioned that in my podcast, which you can check that out in the SML podcast, Playing the Field edition. Right now, there's only two undefeated teams in the SML. There's the Colts, 8-0, and there's the Dallas Cowboys, 7-0. Which team is more likely to go undefeated, you or the Cowboys?
Me.
Holy shit. All right, then.
I just know that Dallas has got you coming up and you're seeking revenge. And, I like talking a little trash to Terrible Two-Step. We don't play that much, so it's kind of fun to, poke at him every now and then. I don't even know if he listens to the podcast. So, this might not even get heard.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for putting me on blast. I play the Cowboys next after the bye week. Obviously, I'm hoping for a little bit better of outcome than the last time, which was a loss. And we'll go into my revenge sweepstakes at a later podcast. Let's go with sleepers and stinkers. What's one team, and by stinker, I don't mean like just a guy that sucks. What's one team that's really had the biggest, so far through this Madden cycle, I guess, or even just this season, if you wanted to say. Who's had the biggest stinker, and why? Why do you think this guy has bad luck? I know who I'm picking, but I'll let you go first.
I'm going to say probably Raider or Outlaw. No, I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens. Aaron or whatever his name is.
And why do you say that?
Because, he plays every great team close, but he misses the playoffs sometimes when he could do the most damage.
So you're talking about overall. You're not talking about this season alone.
Yeah, I'm talking overall, I guess, and this season as well. What's his record this season?
He's 5-3 right now.
Right, which, respectable. He might make the playoffs this year, but I like to see previously what his scores are to some of our top players and, how they reflect compared to other players,
Well, my stinker for this season and for the cycle overall is G-World, the Green Bay Packers. That's a guy that we played in SGC. He's a guy that was kind of always a decent player, and he's a guy, when you play him, he's a good sim baller, and it just seems like every season he's just not able to get wins for whatever reason. And I got a lot of respect for the dude. He has his wife do his drafting and everything else. He's a guy that's dedicated to the cause. It's not like he's just not playing. That's why he's still in the league. He's a quiet guy in the chat. But you see him, he's constantly playing his games. And, I think it's kind of unfortunate that, he's not running that division when he very well could be running the NFC North.
A Raider Outlaw similar to that. Also, Bino the Barber. Guy who's been in the big games a few times. And now he's kind of in a downward spiral at the end of this Madden. Maybe kind of the Chiefs kind of fell off talent-wise, and, he's not catching the breaks, and his confidence might be a little shaken. Maybe get some wins together, though, and, all it takes is a few wins.
Who's your sleeper for this season or just for Madden overall?
Titans probably this year.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the last podcast I did. The Titans were the biggest sleeper. He came in and had just, rocked the SML world. He played the former 49ers under Mr. October and rocked his world. Just total blowout.
Yeah, anytime you
dominance.
have a running game and a passing game, it's hard to predict, and it gives everybody fits, because you can't stop them both, and if you're balanced and you limit the turnovers, then you're going to be hard to beat.
All right, we are mid-season through, and the last podcast I predicted the Colts and Panthers would be in the Super Bowl. What's your mid-season Super Bowl predictions right now?
NFC, I'm going to say either you or the Panthers. I think this might be the year Seattle gets some wins those big games again. And in the AFC, I don't know. I can't pick the AFC because I'm in it. But if I don't pick myself, I'm going to say probably the Steelers.
Well, you've already picked yourself.
Yeah,
everyone knows that you just pick yourself.
Well, you can't like, I don't know. It's hard to.
I just know. Well, I'm not as good as you are, so it's easy for me. And the fact that I had my ass handed to me week 2 to the Panthers, 44-0. I've lost every fucking time the last 5 games. There's just no point of shying away from it. I can't beat the dude. It's just bad breaks every fucking game, and it's just irritating.
Dude.
So, there's definitely some heat, all right?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
That's why it's easy for me to, pick, obvious winners. When I watch your games, I see you dust guys,
Yeah.
And it's not like they're bad guys. I see you even in a situation where it seems like you're getting maddened, and all of a sudden, old primetime 0-0-0, all of a sudden pulls another comeback out of his ass, and next thing you know, the Colts are 8-0.
Yeah.
So, that's why, and obviously it's like 2 of the best teams. No disrespect to terrible two-step, or I guess it's just me, terrible two-step, and Carolina are the top 3 seeds right now.
Yeah.
And everyone else is 4-4 or below.
And obviously we can't say, when we make these predictions, we didn't predict terrible two-step to make the Super Bowl last season. And he went to the Super Bowl, beat Jonesy, and then he just about won the Super Bowl. So obviously, it's anybody's game. Our league is pretty, when it gets to the playoffs, there's no cut and dry winner. It's not like the NBA where it's the Cavs and the Warriors,
No,
you could have made that prediction in June, was what I'm saying. And this one's like maybe the Panthers, maybe the Colts. Whereas in the NBA, you could have said, all right, Cavs, Warriors.
Well, this one, I think this season you can say the Colts, not just because of your track record, but because now you got Odell, Gronk. You've got kind of the Golden State roster almost, if you will.
Yeah. I mean,
and the LeBron James track record of getting the team, even though he hasn't won all the championships, you got the track record of getting there. You lost one to Jones, you've won 1 or 2 this cycle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got the track record of getting there. So, yeah, you can't always pick the, the winners and losers like you said, but sometimes it's just kind of, from a talent standpoint, it's just kind of easy to say the Colts are the team, and just because the Panthers, with the numbers he's putting up and the line of work, or I guess, the track record he has as well.
And if you feel slighted, if you put together multiple 13-win seasons or 12-win seasons, you're going to get noticed. I mean, even the Ravens, who I've mentioned, he hasn't gone 16-0, but I acknowledge his
and the
Broncos
went to the Super Bowl last year.
Acknowledged him, and
the
also
Dolphins owner's a good owner.
And Titans, he's played a few games. So it's not. We don't mean to disrespect you guys. I mean, Falcon's a good guy. Bluntburner's a good guy. I mean, there's, we can list off all the great guys, if we want to, but
just a mid-season prediction.
It's just a mid-season prediction, and as we get later in the season, we'll probably, name off some more guys. It's just how your record's kind of shaping up, and it's easier to talk about the playoff teams because that's who's in it, kind of.
One last closing, take or argument here on SML First Take. MVP, is it going to be Andrew Luck or Bo Tucker, the running back for the Panthers?
I'm going to say Andrew Luck. Hopefully, because if it goes off wins and losses and stuff, then, it'd be deserving of Andrew Luck. But I don't know. If I don't go 16-0, then probably the Panthers guy, because he's
the running back had about 8 or 9 games in. I think he's had 8 games. Has 127 carries, 1,104 yards, 8.7 yards a carry, and 21 touchdowns. I don't get how you had that many running numbers in an 8-game span, but
maybe we should look to a suspension of Bo Tucker.
And possibly have to pay closer attention to the stats, Yes. But anyway, an SML investigation, pending. But other than that, I guess, it's good to do a little podcast. Yeah. Hopefully with your full-time job status. I know it's going to be a little bit harder to get these out, but hopefully we can stick to a Tuesday, Thursday schedule.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, it sucks working, full-time. You work full-time. It's just not easy to put out podcasts, all the time. But, hey, come Madden 18, we've got a few things we're going to string together with our Twitter accounts and various other things. We kind of like to get started with more blogs on Daddy League, stuff like that. So, yeah, guys, just stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Comment down below your Super Bowl predictions. Don't forget to post in the chat. you know, or post on Daddy Leagues if you haven't been set up already. Go ahead and post some blogs. This is Prime, and that's Field General 007. You guys take it easy.
All right, yeah, thanks, Prime. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, hit it with a thumbs up. Like you said, comment below with your Super Bowl predictions or anything else you'd like to talk about. Other than that, have a great day.